Hey guys, so time for CryEngine, and let's start. So first, I'm gonna give you. This is a level I created. Um, you can see our hanger there. So I think it's best to show you if I actually play it now. One thing to know about CryEngine is, unlike Unreal Engine, there's no such thing as building the level. Everything is live. So this is exactly as you would see the game. As you can see, the water is playing. This freaking looks awesome. I can stare at this all day long. Everything is as if you would see it in the game. So if I hit Control G, I enter the game, and it's giving me this thing because there's no texture for the ground, and there's no texture for the the where I step, nothing. Also, third person view, yay! All right, I'm gonna head for our hanger. I should have spawned a little bit closer, but maybe I'll speed this up. As you can see, I'm running straight into, I'm playing straight into the viewport, which is kind of cool. I think you can do that too with UDK, but this is just absolutely phenomenal. So this terrain is actually I completely built. It has an in-game terrain builder, which is quite amazing. I'll show it to you guys later. The hanger here, there was no issue whatsoever to bring it in. It just took the entire thing and just loaded it into the engine, no issue whatsoever. Absolutely phenomenal. Everything it fixed. The problem also, there's one issue with extracting things to UDK. I'm sorry, to CryEngine. There cannot be any errors in the mesh whatsoever, and if there is, it will tell you, and it will just stop the export until you actually fix them, fix the issues. The hanger was actually quite smooth to bring it in. There was no mistakes in it whatsoever. It was a very smooth process. It didn't even care about how many polys this thing has, and as you can see, it's running very smooth. Shading is pretty freaking awesome. This is live, the lighting also, and it's I can actually make it so we're running through a day-night cycle live, which is awesome. So this is not static lighting. This is dynamic. All the lighting here is dynamic, which is kind of cool. For importing static mesh, I animated this robot hand. You guys might recognize it from one of the projects we're working on. I forgot the name. Oh yeah, Gyro. It's from Gyro. So I took the robot, animated it, and imported it back here with animations. The thing is really cool about CryEngine is the animation. You don't have to do it in bones, unlike Unreal, where we had to create bones for everything to make it work. All this is just linked. All the objects are linked to a parent, and I just animated it, keyframed it, and that's it. That's all it is to it. I just exported the mesh and animation, and that's it. I'll show you how to do that later. And as you can see, it's just going into a loop, which is kind of cool. This is exactly what we wanted to do for our robot scenes, Nick. So this is really cool. All right, so let's get started. Escape. So let's start by building a new level in Cry. So I'm gonna go File, New, don't save. It tells you how, well, let's give it a name first. So I'm gonna say test level, or demo level. Alright. This is the height map resolution, so we're gonna actually create a height map for the mountain and so on. Meters, this is per pixel, so every pixel is 2 meters. We can make it more, so 32 meters per pixel, so or 1 meter per pixel. This is going to be exact. This will be a very detailed height map, and this will not be a very detailed height map. Because we're just compressing in 32 meters in 1 pixel, pretty much is what we're saying here. So making it too far or too little can be bad, so we're going to keep it as is too, and yeah, that's fine. So as you can see, the terrain size is going to be 2048 by 2048 meters, which is fine. Terrain texture, use terrain. Okay. There. That's fine. Okay. Texture dimensions, it's fine. Quality, it's fine. Keep it as default, and there you go. When you first create a level, it's just level of water. So it's completely unlike Unreal, which is level of space. This is just a level of water, and freaking the water quality here is quite amazing because I'm using DX11. If it's too much, you can lower it down to DX9, but I can run it, so screw everybody. So as you can see, the terrain is actually underneath the water. So how do we bring it up and create islands and so on? Well, that's easy. We go into we have our time and day, texture, terrain. Begin our terrain, open a different screen, and this is our height map. Now, and terrain editor. Now there's different ways of creating terrain. We can go into modify, make islands, which you can just click. Oh, didn't do it. Actually, I have to create a whatchamacallit, like mountains and stuff first. Set ocean level. We can actually set how high the ocean is. We can remove the ocean completely, so we can just do that. We can bring back the ocean. The ocean at default is 10, but when you get rid of the ocean and put it back in, it goes to this incredible negative number, which is not good. So there it is again. It's as easy as that. We have here the tools. This is like a brush that we can use also here. We can use flatten, rise, lower, smooth. So we can actually build our own mountains, and we can actually do that right now, which I actually did with the other level. So it's quite simple. So we click rise, and I want the brush to be a little bit bigger. Bigger brush. I'm not sure we can see the brush here. There we go. And this is completely live, so I can actually go in there right now and start in the game, and we're done. There's no rendering, there's absolutely nothing at all. Just freaking play the game, which is awesome, just awesome. Alright, just escape, and we're going to continue building this level. And you can also paint here or paint here. So I can actually go in here and just start painting, right? So be the height. So there you go. We just create a whole bunch of items. Around, and islands everywhere. If you want to make it a little bit more, you can increase the height. There we go. Get rid of any water in the middle of our island. And kapow. Now this is maybe too much of those things, so we can go in smooth. And go in there. Oh, smooth. What's wrong? it's not doing it here anymore. That was smooth. And so on. Pretty damn cool. And that's that. That's actually how easy it is. So we just create an island with freaking ocean. We can just hop in and play in the game. And I'm gonna die soon. I died. So I control it again. And there I am. Alright, so you're telling me now, you're thinking probably, whoa, there's like no texture here. So next, texture for terrain. Go on terrain, texture. Now you have to pay attention for this. How it works is there's two different. It works with two different textures. There's a texture, the detail texture. So when the player is close up, you can see all the detail. And there's another texture where the camera is too far away. It just creates just an LOD texture, which is just a color, and that's what it is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say change texture, and all the textures for how people have been noticing is they're just using that gray, what they're calling the gray dot thing. So let me find it. We can just use 16 gray, it's fine. Okay, and then we have to use now, we want assign a material also. So what we chose is the we want that's far away, and it's fine if it's a bad texture, it doesn't matter because we can actually color over it when we're doing the terrain, when we're coloring the terrain. Now we can open up a terrain editor. Oh, I'm sorry, not a terrain editor. We're going to open up the material editor. And all I did is just click on material terrain and just open up the material editor. And in the material editor we can go into materials. That's the materials that came with it. And we can go ahead and select like, I don't know, terrain. Let's see, like choose, I don't know, like let's see grass for example. Okay, and we select it and we say assign material, and there we go, grass. Alright, okay, so now we close this, and what we actually can do here, we can actually add multiple layers. So let's say we want to add rock, grass, and so on, we can do that. Alright, we can do here. Now what we can do is, this is exactly the interface as you noticed, it is like Max exactly actually. We have here the selected, we have here like the modifiers. You can modify vegetation, environment, layer painter, which we're going to use right now. You can hide things here, so we can brushes and so on, and this is your layers. You can actually, like, it's like Photoshop layers. You can actually add multiple layers of things. Actually, it's very well organized. I absolutely love this. Anyways, let's go out to our layer painter, and we're gonna actually, I call it default by accident. We should have called it something else. Texture, and I'm gonna call this grass. Go to our painter, and here's our grass. There's it, and we just paint. But we probably want a bigger brush, so let's make this brush bigger so we can color everything. Zoom out and paint. Probably choose a different color too. It's not a good color. There we go. Well, I guess there's still a bit of ocean over there, which is fine. See, when we came closer, different from we're going far away. It will start changing the texture, how the texture would look and so on. And that's it. So I know it looks kind of bad right now, so if I actually hit play, it looks bad, of course, but you have to remember that this is not just it. You have to actually take, this looks freaking awesome. You put vegetation and actual grass models and so on, so actually things will look much better. Then you can come back and actually darken areas, and as you can see here, my where's my, there you go, the texture is coming back now, and you come back and darken areas to make things, you know, better for, you know, there's too much trees, for example, and so on. I absolutely love this. Yeah, this is awesome. Okay, I love Cry. Alright, so there you go. So now we created a island. Alright, so let's say we want to create a flat area so we can bring in meshes and, you know, well, not meshes, specifically our hanger mesh. So we're gonna make this area that looks like a tooth. We're gonna make it flat. So we're gonna open up terrain, and I want to make it flatten, and I'm gonna pick height. So I'm gonna default it to, let's say, this height over here, and flatten. I'm gonna make the brush just a little bigger. A little bit bigger, maybe. There we go. Go. It's a pretty good flat area. Alright, so I'm going to save this, so because we're going to jump into Max, and I'll show you how we can import things, which is actually a lot of fun. Alright, let me save it. Okay, so back to this file again that we used in UDK. So this time we're not gonna bother with any of this. We're actually gonna take this entire thing and export it out. But first, let's talk about a few things. There are plugins that comes with the CryEngine that you have to install. I'm not going to go over it because I found this awesome video that I referred you guys to it in Facebook, on Facebook. Definitely check it out. It will show you how to install the CryEngine plugins, which is pretty much a CryEngine Explorer. And if you go into our material editor, there's the Crytek shader, which is freaking awesome. You can use the shader just to import and export things out, or use the the Crytek shader to use it into the thing. So you can actually set it up here and just work with it in the CryEngine, which is freaking awesome. Alright. Also, naming conventions here is actually quite important. So what we're going to do is first select the entirety of the hanger. And I just made a Crytek shader that has no textures or anything on it for now. And I'm just going to apply it. And the Crytek shader can just, it's normal, like if you go to Max is a thing, just is plain by default, just go Crytek shader and that's it. I'm going to call this hanger. Yeah, hanger, just hanger. Okay, and I'll apply it just in case one more time. Okay, so there you go. So what we need to do is first save this. You have to save it into oh, this is UDK, hold on. You have to use it or save it into the CryEngine folders. So I have C, CryEngine, game, where is it? Objects. I created this folder, objects, and I just have all my stuff in here. And for each thing, you just create a new thing. So I have a hanger right here, and it's just called hanger. So I'm gonna try to save as. Is it the same thing? Yeah, it is. Okay, this is very essential. Yeah, and you have to call it something that you'll know what it is, because when you're exporting out, you export it out with the same names and everything, so it recognizes that name. And I'll show you how that works right now. So I'm going to keep that open. I'm going to delete this and show you. Alright, so we selected the entirety of the hanger. Now we open up the CryEngine Explorer, and to place it here, of course, you go into the sets, and it's down here. You just drag it into the sets here and save it. So open up the CryEngine 3 exporter. Alright, now clear. What you do is you select all of your thing, add selected, there you go, and then you can take it out as geometry, and if you have animated geometry, it's animated geometry, and character as character, and so on. But for now, we want geometry because it's just a static mesh, pretty much. There's also something called export file per node, so it's going to create nodes in CryEngine, one for each of those things, and that is something we do not want to do right now. There's no need for it. We just want to combine all of them in one, and all we're going to do is export nodes. If you have a texture that you set up, what you do is you say create material. So if you have the CryEngine open and you hit create material, it will open up CryEngine directly, and it will give you an option to save the material. You save it, and then you continue on exporting. And I'll show you that with a simple object that has a texture later on. Actually, I'm going to show you with a robot arm. Alright, so we want to make it geometry, hanger, export nodes. It's going to run through. If there's any errors, it will actually show it here, and actually sometimes suggests what might be wrong. So that's actually a good thing. And most of the time is vertices that are not welded. So that's a big thing with the CryEngine. So give it a minute. I really hope it didn't freeze. And there we go. No issues or anything. You just export it. Perfect. That's it. That's it with Max. So now we minimize Max, and we check that it did hanger.cgf, and that's our. It's 41 megabytes, which is quite huge. Now, how do we bring it in here? That's quite easy. If we go into the selected hand thing, I'm not sure if it's called, I don't know, objects. We want to bring it as a brush, so hit brush. And there's something called geometry entity, which is quite similar to brush. Just geometry entity is made so you can add, include into complex scripting and so on. Since we're not doing that, we're going to use brush. Hit objects. Objects is the objects that I have. As you see, the whole bunch of stuff that actually doesn't exist in my folder. In objects, we just have these ones, but it's under hanger. So we're gonna open hanger, and there it is. And all we're gonna do is bring it here. There is a pretty cool option in CryEngine, which says follow terrain. So we're gonna follow terrain, and when you bring it in, you bring in the hanger. It will actually follow the terrain of where you're placing it. So I'll go right here, and there you go. So he's following terrain up, down, and so on. So I'm gonna stick it here. Now, as you can see, it's glowing red. And the reason for that is, which is actually pretty cool, it's like a warning system in CryEngine. It even says "replace me" in big all over the the hanger or the model. And what it is just there's no texture on it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just put in a replacement texture, and same thing as um, in. Well, let's make this a little bigger so I can actually show you. And same thing as in Unreal, there's also this issue where you don't see the out, or you can see the outside is transparent, which is not supposed to be. And that's the same issue. We just have to make it so it's so the shader that we select is the two-sided shader. All right. So when you select the mesh, you're gonna hit see the MTL, which is the shader, so no custom material. You click on it, it will open up the material editor, and now we're just gonna select a material that I actually found it to be okay or decent. So we just select it, apply it, and applied it. Then you go in advanced and make sure it's two-sided, and there we go, done and done. Now in the materials you can see it's pretty much the same as Max. There's diffused, specular, bump, environment, detail, there's decay, or decal, sorry, subsurface scattering, and so on. It's pretty damn cool. It's quite easy to work with. So there you go. So we close this, and that is it. We don't have to build. As you can see, the lighting is already made. The lighting is already in the level and everything. You don't have to do anything extra. The only thing, maybe we can make it bigger and move it up a little bit, or we have to adjust it for the level. But let's just make it big right now, so it seems ginormous. There we go. And then move it inwards. And since it's not aligned to this thing, we're just gonna make it big. There we go. And that's it. And now we can just jump in game and play. That's it. It is a little bit small since these things are as big as me, so that's not good. But that's pretty much it. We brought in a mesh, a static mesh. Now I figured out how to do the the collision for the meshes, but I still haven't done it on my own yet, so I don't want to put it in the video and take forever. So I'm gonna make another video that shows you guys how to do the collisions for mesh. It's actually quite cool. From what I've seen, you can actually do it in Max. You build your own mesh in Max, and then you give it names and so on, and apply it here, and just say this is the physical collision, and that's it. That's all you need to do, and it's done. That is it. Alright, so since we're here, and before we bring in an animation mesh, I want to show you guys how to do sound really fast. I'm actually going to go on top view, if I can remember how. I don't remember how. Display wireframe. Oh, that's right. I think it's Alt or Control Tab. There we go. So this is our map, and this little white thing is our what should I call it, hanger. So what I want to do is I want to make sound, but bringing sound in here is actually one of the most difficult things ever, or music, whatever. There's like mood nodes that you play the music according to mood of the level, and so on. It's quite complicated, but I found a workaround. Now it is, instead of playing music, we're gonna play an ambient volume, which is like playing as if like playing a water sound or birds or whatever. So what we're gonna do is first make an area that the sound will play in. So make a shape, and that's under area, shape. Oops, area, shape. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna simply create a circle around our playable area, and double click to finish it. And then we're gonna hit Control Tab to go back to our view. And I'm actually this thing is actually quite heavy, so I'm gonna freeze that hanger. So okay, freeze selection, because it's runs my my thing quite slow. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So, oops, where is it? Where'd it go? Ah, damn. So now we have to go back, select it. Okay, and then go into here again. And when you have selected, there's options for it, just like Max. And what we want to do is we want to increase the height for it. So we're going to make it 100. That's pretty good. And we're going to leave that as is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a sound, ambient sound or ambient volume, and make sure it's right here. And the yellow area is where how far the sound can be heard from, or how far it can be heard. We're going to increase that dramatically to like 1,000. There we go. That's pretty good. And that's the outer radius. And then name, that's the name of the file that you want. I just selected an MP3, whatever. That's what's so cool about it. Also, you can accept any files, WAV, MP2, MP3, and OGG, which is quite cool. So I'm going to go to my objects folder, which I have DraftPunk organizer from Tron, which is pretty cool. And enabled, perfect, and that is it. Now all we have to do is link the sound to the box or the volume, the shape, and that's quite easy. You select the shape, and there's a target. You say pick target, and there you go. So it's barely, there it is, ambient volume 1. So you see this line going to the volume. Now if we go in here, there you go. And now that's playing in the level. Okay. And it. It's pretty cool. So that's that. Let's exit. And I don't want to keep hearing the music, so I'm going to mute it. Alright, so let's save this. And give you project on, it's fine. Alright. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our whatchamacallit, our animated mesh. So let's do that. So this is my animated mesh. So if I hit play here, there we go. and it will just keep looping. Okay, perfect. Few things to know about. Few things has to actually go correct in order to bring it into CryEngine, which is if you know about it beforehand, it's good. If you didn't, like me, you'll be faced with many troubles and hair pulling. The first thing that you want to do is you want to select all your meshes and reset Xforms. You definitely have to reset Xforms. That's one. Two is you have to make sure that under the animation, under the motion parameters, it is actually position and or anything that's being animated. So let's say this thing is mainly the rotation. So there's no it's not going X, Y, and Z. It's just rotating in X, Y, and Z. So make sure it's TCP rotation. So you click on the rotation, go into assign and TCP rotation. If anything else selected, animations will not work. And I had to learn this. It took me a while to learn this. And that's for everything. Everything here has to be TCP. Anything animated has to be TCP or TCP settings. Why? I do not know. But that's what it needs to for the animation to translate over. Also, as you notice, I also collapsed the animation. So if you go in here, motion trajectories, and you select all the animation, or select everything, and you say position and rotation, start time 1, end time 551, samples every frame, so it's 551, and hit collapse. It's gonna create keyframe for each frame, and that's really good because that's exactly how you want to bring it into the CryEngine. And as you can see, there's no bones, like I said, so it's just as is. So for the shader, you notice there's actually a custom texture on it, and I'll show you that right now. So if you go here, this is definitely a CryText shader with just the diffuse on it. Actually, I want to test this physicalize obstruct. Let's see if it works. I actually never tried it. This is what it makes it so it's has a collision course or a collision, so you bump into it, you don't walk through it. So I'm going to leave it like that. And as you can see, I actually have a TIFF file in here. Now you can't just bring any TIFF file. It has to be done with a CryText TIFF. It's called a CryTIFF or something like that. So in Photoshop, I just downloaded this image from cgtextures.com, and I made a 1024 by 1024 square texture because engines only take square. And what I did is, or what you have to do is, save it as CryTIFF plugin. Okay, when you save it as well, the CryTIFF plugin is also one of the plugins that comes in with the engine that you have to install. That's also in the video that I referred you guys to, so definitely check it out. You definitely have to save it as a CryTIFF in the folder that you have, and when you hit save, I'm going to put this up for now. When you hit save, it creates that and that. It tells you how much memory it's taking. That's how much memory it's taking. It's being reduced. If you want to create a PS3, Wii U, Xbox, or PC, so we say PC, not 512. I say change resolution to 1024. There we go. And then you can choose it's a diffuse, low quality, and you can actually go ahead and choose a diffuse high quality if you want. Diffuse high quality. There you go, and it's definitely looks better. I'm not sure if you guys can tell. But for the time being, you can leave it as low Q, doesn't matter, or diffuse high quality. There you go. And just hit OK. It will save it out. It's fine. It will save it out, and from there you can actually choose it and plug it into Max under diffuse, of course. So there we go. You have to keep the same name as the file 4.3. And then what you do is you you go into the shader, and then you open up the CryEngine 3 exporter. Select the shader. If you're in here, it won't work. It actually has to be on the upper level, on the main shader level. And I'm gonna call this robot 3. Right? Make sure it's selected. Say, since my engine is open, there it is, it's open. So I'm gonna say create material. It opened the engine. It says where do you want to save this .mtl material. I'm gonna go game objects robot, and I'm gonna say robot3.mtl. I'm just gonna copy over it, save. And you want to replace it? Yes, I do. And that's it. So now it's in the engine. I can close this. It's right there, the engine under robot 3. I can close this. And now all we have to do is export both the mesh and the animation. There's two different files, one for mesh and one for animation. First, clear the list, select everything, add selected. Then under animated geometry, you have to choose. Oh, so we're going to do the geometry first. It's called animated geometry. So a CGA instead of CGF for geometry. Okay. Export nodes. It's going to say it already exists. You want to copy overwrite it? Yes, I do. It's done. Now I want to export the animation. For the animation, I want to create a custom animation file name. And what it is, it's actually quite important. You can have multiple animations for. So let's say if I create a different animation for this, I can still export it as a different file name. But how it will work is I'll call it robot3, for example, underscore animation 2. And in the engine, it'll recognize anim2 as a different animation. So anim2 is different than anim1. And there you go. Let's save that. Then export. There you go. It's telling me there's nose mesh has some degenerate texture coordinates. It's fine. There you go. Now that's it. We export everything. The working between Max and CryEngine actually makes things a little bit easier. Just you have to understand how it works, and that's just the big part. And but everything else, easy as cake. All right. So now we're gonna create the mesh or the animated mesh. So what we do is we go into entity, and under physics, you're going to say animated object, and you drag it out. So if you want to make sure it's follow terrain, and then you drag it out, and it's following terrain. Stick it here. There's the entity, so the model. So we're going to want to bring it in the model. So you click here and you click the folder name. You find your robot folder inside the. You find your folder that you created inside the CryEngine folder directory. Click it. Open. And something is definitely wrong, so I have to go back in Max and check this out. Clear add animated export close. Okay. I'm gonna delete that. Make another entity. Make sure it's game robot. It is. Make sure it's game robot. Oh, let me delete some of this stuff. Let me do this first again. That can get quite confusing. Alright, cancel that. We are going to create it again. Geometry. export, and anim custom name anim1 since I deleted the first one. Save and export. Okay, let's try this again. Hold on, let me drink water. Alright. Load the model one more time from robot. Why is it being as a line? That is quite bizarre. Selected geometry. I'm gonna give it a custom name this time. Keep that. Call it robot 4. Save. Then I'm gonna create the anime. Delete that. Or actually, yeah, delete that. Call it robot 4 anim1 and export. Okay, back to the engine. Delete this entity. Game objects robots. What? Something is wrong. Oops, let me go here again. Animated geometry. Robot 4. Save. Export. Done. Okay, there it is. Okay, let's do that again. There we go. And it's still bringing in as a line. I think Max is going crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually close it out. And open it up again. Minimize this. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, let's see if this works. Engine, entity, bring in the model. There we go. It's kind of crooked, but it's okay. And it's selected by accident. and playing animation, default animation. There we go. We might actually, I think, did I call it enemy one? No, I didn't. So it's just going to play the default, and we're going to make it loop. And there it is. Now let's apply that shader that we created for it. So under MTL, click it. Materials, and it's under objects. Object folder, under, where did I put it? Helper, no weapons, no structures, props. And it's not here, which is quite weird. Materials, objects, characters. Default. The library. Yeah, for some reason it's gone. Okay, that's pretty weird. So let's just go to Max. Go to material editor again. Do that. Create material. Game objects robot, and they just deleted it. Yeah. So there's a few things we need to figure out with the engine, obviously. We call this robot 3. Or actually, maybe I accidentally deleted it when I was deleting those things. I don't know. Robot 3. So there it is. That's where it should be. And apply. And there we go. That is our El Roboto. And we can just place this here. We can bring it into the light. Maybe we can unfreeze that and bring it up a little bit more. Where's that? Then freeze it again. And let's play. Oh, perfect. There we go. Texture and mesh animation, which is pretty cool. Let's say we don't like this texture. We can definitely bring in some textures that have already been made. Obviously, oops. No, some textures have already been made that came with the engine. We can go to metal, just apply this thing, and there you go. And done. Cool. Again. So as you can see, it's definitely a lot easier to do stuff in Unreal. Definitely like not taking care of we had to calculate all the we don't have to calculate all the build the level over and over and over and over again, which might take a long time. This is already built for us. We can build underwater stuff. We can make this island into whatever we want. I haven't played yet with the tree system, but I hear it's quite fun. The ocean is pretty damn awesome. Like if I go to ocean here, and just stare at it, and then open up environment and go down. I can actually go ahead and actually play with the ocean itself. I can say wave size, make it go crazy. Of course, looks like shit. I can say wave amount. Now it really looks like shit. One. We can do wind speed. Doesn't seem to have that much of effect on it. And so on. It's freaking awesome. What we can also do is play night and day, fast, slow, whatever you want to do. So to do that is we bring in the time day system. Opens in my other thing, sorry. And just to adjust the lighting, all we have to do is just change the time of day. Night. And we can make it play, so play speed we can make it into like a 1. And say play. This is what it's going to look like. Okay, stop. Close it and run in the engine. And there you go. Live. Night. Long night, jeez. And day. Yeah, it's definitely more dynamic. I think it's more artist friendly to work with Cry. I am definitely convinced. Of course, to make this more realistic time and day, you could, instead of 1, you put like 0.01 or something. So if you have a long level. Let's test this out, see what it looks like. Yeah, something like that, maybe even slower. Stop. 0.001. Play. Yeah, that's more like it. And if I hit play, yeah, see it's definitely moving. It's pretty damn awesome. Pretty damn awesome. So if you have a long level, it will go through night, maybe come back through day. It's freaking just awesome. Yeah. All right. I think this is it. If you guys have any questions, this is definitely was a huge thing to create for a demo, but I love it. I think it's good. You know, learning a few. You know, actually a lot of things. From that one robot hand, especially with the issues that I discovered that can happen. And that's pretty much it, really. So this is just simple CryEngine stuff, and quite powerful too. So there you go. If you guys might have any questions, Nick, maybe you can start looking into scripting for Cry, maybe. Because I think we should definitely use Cry, not Unreal for our test level thing that we want to create. Yeah, and there you go. Alright, you guys enjoy. Bye.